What is going on, everybody? Chris here with the latest full self-driving update on our hardware for Model Y. This is 12.5.6, and we got a few cool new improvements. So Stephanie's with me, but she doesn't have a mic on, so she may put in a little bit. So we're on our way to the airport. We're going to LA for the Robotaxi event, and this update came out right before. So this should basically be the same software that they have on the Robotaxi. I'm sure that's not the case, but you know, it's kind of weird that it's like right before the Robotaxi event and I'm still supervised. All right, we'll leave that. So we got a few changes here. Oh, nice little braking for some roadkill. My roadkill voice notes are finally having an effect. I leave so many of those voice notes. So we got a few new things here in the autopilot menu, which I'm showing you right now. So we have new speed profiles. So we used to have chill, average, and assertive. We now have chill, standard, and hurry. And hurry is what's enabled right now. It doesn't seem to be doing much because the speed limit's 55. I have set my max to 64 and the car's doing 50. So yeah, we're gonna need some more testing, but initial right off the bat impressions are that the car still likes to go a little slow. Like, see, we're still dropping speed, 49. It's a clear, sunny day. The speed limit's 55. Again, humans on this road will go 60, sometimes a little more. I'm not saying that FSD should do that, but I am saying FSD should not be dropping its speed below the speed limit, especially when I have all the settings geared towards please go a little faster. So I'm gonna hit the accelerator here, and you'll see that it does still have this kind of speed degradation thing where, let me get it up to 60 here for you. There we go, right there. And then now I am not touching it. And we'll see over time, even though the max is set to 64, it'll slowly kind of degrade its speed. Maybe now, not now that I'm calling it out. The other things that are different with this build is max speed offset. So instead of the auto speed, which we had before, I'll put that up so you can read that really quick, but basically you can have the max speed, which is similar to before, but the car will adapt and drive the way it thinks is kind of the best or safest or whatever, which kind of leads to the issue I'm complaining about here, in that the car will continue to drop its speed because it thinks it should go slower, but really it's fast road. Now, what's really nice about the new way they've done this is you can put the max speed offset. So I've set it to 15%. I'll kind of play around with that. You do get a little prompt when you first put the car into drive, and it asks you what you want this setting to be. It suggested plus 40%, which seems kind of crazy, but again, you got to take into consideration the car's not going to go that all the time. It's just the most it could go if it thinks that's what it should do with the traffic around it and the conditions and things. So I do like this new implementation because we can see the max there, 64. While I'm driving, I can set the max, so I can go like this and use my scroll wheel to change it. Now the max is 70. Again, the car's not going to automatically blast to 70, but that's the most it could do that I've allowed. If I'm not comfortable with it going that fast, I could say do not go more than 60. The car will go up to that speed or anywhere below it. Now, if you want to go back, now what I do like about this is if you're in different areas, oh yeah, we're going straight here. If you're in different areas, then you may want different speeds. So on the highway, I'm okay with going 10 or even 15 or 20% over the speed limit. I don't think that's going to be an issue. So I'm going to hit the accelerator here just because I want to get to the airport. And if you're in a school zone, you probably don't want to even go 1 mile per hour over the speed limit. So you can dynamically, as you're driving around, adjust this all over the place. There, I'm good with 75 on this dirt road coming up. And then once this, Stephanie's laughing, it's just a joke. So very nice job continuing there all on its own. And then once I say get to a school zone or something, I could then dial this back and say, all right, I actually don't want to go any more than 55. I want to go exactly the speed limit. Now, when you're done playing around with it, you can hold your drive stalk here down one press, and it will go back to your default of your plus 15% or whatever you set. So the setup here is really nice. The actual implementation, as you can see, for me, there's still a lot to be desired. Why did the car only get up to 45 on a 55? Look at this road. The road is huge. It's sunny out. There's no wind. It's clear. There's no cars. So we should definitely be going a lot faster than this. The other thing that it adds is end-to-end neural net on highways. I should just go to the release notes here. Can you do that for me, please? If you scroll down and click release notes, the blue button. Right there, thank you. So let me put these up for you so we can talk about these together. Make sure I don't miss anything. So we have our attention monitoring sunglasses. We've had that. End-to-end on highway, which we have on Cybertruck. So now the neural net will do its thing on the highway rather than the old version 11 software. And what's interesting is I found, let's see, so that transition to the dirt road was really nice. What I found is Cybertruck on highway works really well. And I think the big part of that is because there's always other cars around. And in Michigan, everybody's driving, you know, between 70 and 90 miles an hour. and mostly in that 80 mile per hour range, and FSD will kind of stick around those people. I have had somebody in front of me going like 73, and the Cybertruck will go around them to get up to like 78, which again, there's a lot of nuances and is that correct or blah, blah, blah. But for me, the driving has felt really good. I'm surprised it wants to go this fast on the dirt road. What do you think?
It's faster than I would go. See, it's slowing down a little now.
Yeah, so faster than Stephanie would go. This is about the speed I would go on this road. This actually feels really good. So it's this weird, like, it was too slow on the pavement. Now this is about right, or maybe even a tiny bit too fast on the dirt. We'll have to do a lot more driving to really dig into how it performs. But we are going to do some highway driving here and test that out as well. I expect the Model Y to do just as well as the Cybertruck did on the highway with its speed keeping and all of that. We also have earlier and more natural lane change decisions, so hopefully we'll see some of that coming up later. Updated driver profiles, so that's the speed set, like the chill and standard and hurry. And then auto set speed has been updated to max speed, which is what I talked about earlier in the top left. So let's let FSD do this driving for us and not hit the brake there. So that was really stupid. It was like a super delayed reaction to that truck. Wow, that was like one of the dumbest brakes I've seen in probably months. But we'll let it keep going here and take us to our parking at the airport, and we'll check in periodically as we go. This video is brought to you by Joa, my choice for premium Tesla and vehicle accessories. Claim your exclusive discount with the link in the description below. Down to 0. And a nice little takeoff. Yeah, that was fine. Yeah. I would never ever go to 0 at that stop sign. That's okay that the robot wants to. Go! Go! Look at this, 38. I don't know what it is thinking. And now we do have someone behind us, so I mean, I'm not going 38 and a 55 no matter what. Even at nighttime in the fog, I wouldn't go that slow.
I wonder if having that person behind you is going to help it keep speed better.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the person behind us will help it keep speed better because they can't hear you.
I know,
yeah, but I mean, we'll see. I also don't want to wait too long and have them have to come up and ride our bumper to make that happen. All right, so even with this guy behind us, I kind of let it go there for a second. He never got really that close. He's keeping good distance, but FSD just continues. Let's see if we hit the brakes here again. I'm on the accelerator. Braking around a bend is perfectly fine. It's just, even on the straight parts, even with a car coming up to our rear bumper, we just continue to drop speed. This is just, this is the one big thing I was hoping would be fixed with this, especially since they specifically talk about changes to speed. And again, let's confirm, autopilot, I'm in hurry. Standard, hurry, which says drives faster. Not quite. So we'll just have to, I don't know, keep waiting. 12.5.6.1. That's going to be the one. Talk to 0 and go. That's feeling really good.
Yes.
Wow, that feels great. So we're really getting to 0 and then like 0 and then going like right away, which is awesome. It's been pretty close to that for a while, but it still feels really good.
You can repeat this for me, but
okay.
The other thing
Here, hold on.
The other thing I noticed is it came up to that stop sign a little bit faster than in the previous version, which I like because I found myself having to like hit the accelerator a little bit. Sometimes it would just like slow down way too much as it was approaching like a stop sign. So it was kind of nice, like in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's very true. It got right up to that stop sign. Now we're into this roundabout. It glides right through it, which is awesome. There's no one here, so it should. And yeah, perfect. I don't think you could have done that any differently. All right, so we've got a 4-way stop here, and this one will be interesting. Let's see if it does the same thing as the last stop sign where it gets right up to the stop. Since we have a person in front of us, we'll now have to creep forward and stop again, or it's just going to go through. All right, well, I'll take that too. That was definitely wrong. Let me report it. But I know what happened is this car stopped way in front of the stop sign. FSD stopped behind them, which was still in front of the stop sign. So once they were out of the way, it just continued through. So 100% wrong, but that's the way it played out. And then we'll have to make this unprotected left here across some traffic. But we're getting, I mean, I would call this lucky on the way to the airport. There you go. Very nice. That guy's flying, but very nicely done. I would call this lucky on the way to the airport normally to have no traffic and nobody at the stop sign. No gravel train, you know, nothing in our way. But when I'm making a video, I want lots of stuff in our way. Now we got to get on the highway here. So here's the new end-to-end thing. Neural nets all the way, and it needs to speed up.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, turn the turn signal at 45 miles an hour. Great job. That is pretty awful. Oh, look at that. All right, so I'm hitting the accelerator here, and now it says hurry. So now I'm changing everything I've said. This must be a highway setting, and not, it must not affect off highway, because now it says hurry on the screen. So that's, now I have to kind of reevaluate everything I've thought. I want it everywhere. I want you to hurry up everywhere. All right, well, we'll test the end-to-end stuff on the highway here. We have a lot of highway miles to do, so it'll be interesting how it does the lane changes, how it controls speed, especially around this construction, because I really wouldn't blame it for wanting to go a little slower when you're around cones. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Now, if I use this, so I can switch between this hurry, standard, and chill with my right scroll wheel here. So we'll keep it in hurry for now. We are making a lane change, probably because that guy is not hurrying, and we'll see how it does.
It waited a really long time, though, to change lanes.
Well, yeah, it did wait a long time to change lanes, but we did have some cars kind of coming up and stuff, so I'm not sure. I don't know, I think I'm okay with it. And then we're changing back. I like out of the passing lane, but it was over a solid white line, so I don't know. Most people ignore those anyway. I'll leave it up to the comments to judge that one. All right, so I'm gonna guess we're gonna do a lane change back here once we pass this semi. There we go. So yeah, it's still pretty predictable in the way it's gonna do things. I will say, so far the getting out of the passing lane is working pretty well. The couple of times we've done it. I did lower our max speed because we are in a construction zone. I wasn't really thinking about that. Whoa, yeah, look at this. Preemptively getting out of his way. That was very intelligent. And then there's someone behind us, so let's see, are we immediately going to move back over? Right now. No, it's not immediate. Hurry, someone's coming up behind you. Move over. All right, fine. There's an intervention. I'm not going to keep waiting. So, intelligent and then stupid. As someone was blasting up behind us. So again, what I was saying is, we are in a construction zone. It's 60. It's not supposed to be 70. And I was thinking that, you know, in a 70, I'm okay with going up to 80. But at a construction zone, I'm not okay going that fast. So I lowered it down here, even though, as you can see, we're getting past. There was even a cop back there. And people were not getting pulled over yet. So, but overall, this feels pretty natural, and the lane changes are really nice. All right, so we got somebody pulled over here on the side. Looks like FSD is not quite smart enough to move over for them. That is a legal requirement, so I'm gonna do, wow, they're really close to the road too. So wow, and it moves right back over. I mean, that's good. I don't wanna stay in the left lane. But I did hit the report button because that's something you should be doing, especially when they're that close to the road. I hear some more cars merging on here. Let's see if we move over again or if it was a fluke. Right now, move over. Do it. Move over. Yeah, a little late, but not bad. Better than before, that's for sure, because in the past, that was it happened, but I think it was mostly a fluke. It was super rare for the car to move over. Now, it would, you know, slow down to let people on and stuff, but actually moving out of their way, as we just saw there, didn't really happen before, so that's nice. And then I was kind of playing with the standard and hurry settings. I don't know. I'm going to need to do a lot more driving to really parse those. But I'm a little disappointed that the release notes weren't clear that the... I'll put this back in standard. There you go. Once I put it in standard, it's moving out of the passing lane. That might be part of it. I'm a little disappointed the release notes weren't clear that these settings are for the highway. So I'm kind of reevaluating everything I said. but it's still disappointing that we're getting that speed decay. Wow, it like moved to let that guy pass us and move right back over. That's really nice. It's disappointing we're getting that speed decay on the side road still, but it'll have to get fixed eventually, maybe. But yeah, overall, again, this so far is feeling really good. It's really fitting in with traffic, which is great. All right, so our exit's coming up. BMW is not happy with that pickup full of junk. Wow, great job moving all the way over there.
But then accelerate a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. There we go. It's picking it up. So, and I think we're getting away from construction here. If we are, I'll put the max back up higher. You know, it's kind of personal preference. Obviously, the car got over here with enough time to, it's solidly in the lane. We're exiting. It's not like we barely made it. But at the same time, it could have moved over a little bit earlier. But it did it, so I'm not going to complain about that. And do we have one more exit, or are we staying right here?
Staying here.
Okay, so we're staying right here. And I'm pretty sure we're done with construction. This, whatever that little thing is flying by us. So I'll put our max back at 80. We'll stick in hurry mode and see how it behaves. But I'm really enjoying how they implemented this still of I can control the max, kind of like it used to be. I can control the max. We don't have to go quite that speed, but I can, you know, keep a handle on it, and the car can then kind of dynamically decide where up to that speed is the best way to be traveling. Also really good getting away from that. I don't even know if that lane ends, but it's nice that we're not staying in it as we enter the highway. So we want to get around this slow gravel train, and we have our turn signal on. That guy did move out of our way, but FSD was still pretty cautious to get over. I mean, I'm, again, fine with that. Like, any of that cautious stuff I'm good with. We're staying to the left to stay away from this truck, and we'll probably move back over as soon as we pass them. I mean, man, that is accurately, like, geez, right on the line, which I'm all good with. When you're next to those big trucks, nice to stay away from them. And it immediately centers again. Like, if all of that's done well, it's awesome. It's only when it does it sloppily that it's becomes more of a nuisance than a benefit. Okay, interesting decision. So we've been in standard for a while now, just trying out the different modes and how they be. Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I figured. Like, why would you move behind this slow guy? Seeing if, you know, getting into standard would more likely have it get out of the fast lane, because it was sitting in the passing lane here for a long time, but I had it in hurry. So it's kind of like, well, maybe that's why. But at the same time, we've been passing people like this whole time. So, you know, again, need a lot more driving. It's hard to tell exactly, but it does seem like standard is much more likely to get you out of the passing lane, which is good. It should be that way. Now, I do want max to also not stay in the passing lane, like only be there if you're, you know, passing people or going to be passing them soon. But it seems like it does like to stick there. So again, we move over. We're going to get up to this truck here, and then we should move back over. Yeah, so we're going to pass them. So like, this is normal, good behavior. You know, some people would see, well, there's no one really behind us, and obviously we're going faster than that thing, so let's just sit here until we, you know, pass them and move back over. But other people are immediately going to move over and not move back to the passing lane until they know that it's time to pass someone, which is also appropriate. So it's getting, a lot of this is getting down to kind of opinion rather than strictly like legal definitions of how to do these things. So yeah, again, really happy with how the highway is performing so far. All right, FSD is, wow, okay, give me that. All right, holy crap, that was, FSD is not smart enough for that. So, all right, to be fair, technically we didn't need to change lanes, but somebody was entering the highway, it looks like, at like 20 miles an hour, And so that guy started slamming his brakes so that he wouldn't squish them. Now this guy's doing something. Jeez, what is going on? So that is like, those are the types of situations where people are kind of like, dude, you can't, we're very far from unsupervised FSD because the car didn't flinch when that truck was slamming its brakes, honking its horn, debris was flying everywhere from its tires and smoke was coming out. Again, technically, staying in this lane wouldn't have resulted in anything bad, but every time you see something like that, you get away from it because you don't know what's coming up. You don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, pretty interesting little edge case there that the car just isn't capable of handling. Right. Okay, go ahead. Just ask me next time.
Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the highway. I feel like I would use it to its full potential myself, which is saying a lot. And I'm most happy that it's no longer slowing down. Like, I was afraid that because it's like end to end, that it would be slowing down like it does on the other roads, but it's not. So I'm thankful for that. The speed has been really good. And the lane changes have been nice and smooth. Most of the time they seem like there's a purpose behind them, like how the car moves over to allow the oncoming traffic. And I love that it just seems to have a much better awareness than a human most of the time of all the cars around and like, oh, this car is coming up really fast, so we're not going to move into the left lane until this car has gone by, and then we'll pass this car kind of thing. So I appreciate all of those things.
All right, and taking this exit, this is a tiny bit fast. I mean, again, I kind of like it, but I just always think from like robot versus human thing, like I could see a robot going a little slower there, but it felt good. I mean, it felt really natural and really nice. So we took that whole interchange while Stephanie is, you know, telling you her highway impressions, and I'm just chilling watching the road. I mean, it's been very relaxing. They definitely have nailed the no hands, although they won't say no hands. They've nailed that with the sunglasses, and I've had my sunglasses on this whole time. They've really nailed all of that, and it just makes the whole experience so much better, more comfortable. And as you can see, we had a little issue there. My hands are, you know, a half inch from the steering wheel. It was very easy for me to take over at the last second there while that was happening. I'm gonna have no issues. So it's just all working really well. Yeah, and then we have this exit in a little less than a mile, and we've moved away from the right, but this semi's going pretty slow, so I will definitely take that. And yeah, we immediately move back over. So that's great. We're still gonna easily make our exit with a half mile left, and we don't have to go super slow behind the semi. Now that's something like if you don't like, you'd be in chill, and then I think you probably wouldn't get stuff like that. This is it. This is the exit. Man, very nice. Lane changes are good. I know a lot of people have talked about how their lane change or their exits, they'll go to exit the highway and the whole car kind of flies over to the right and then centers itself. I have seen that before, but in the highway driving and exits I normally am taking, I don't see it. I have seen it, but for me personally, it's really rare. But I do see a lot of comments talking about that. So far, you know, again, I've only had it for this day. So far, I haven't seen that happening, and these are new, different exits that I'm not used to taking. So is this the correct lane we want to be in? Get this out of here. Tiny, tiny hard brake at the end there. Yeah, we want to be on this right side of the road, so that, I mean, this is where we go. Green, oh, you're not going.
It's on the map, it was labeled as a stop sign. I think this traffic light is new, so maybe
Oh,
it's like
interesting.
struggling a little bit.
Okay, so Stephanie's saying the map data was showing a stop sign there. I wasn't looking at that. But the traffic light's probably new, and so there's maybe a little confusion with the map data. The car did do it correctly, but it just had a little delay at that.
Stopped at the red light.
For sure, yeah, it stopped at the red light. It waited for green and just had a little delay after the green. So.
We've never gone this way, though.
Nope, this is a different way. And this isn't labeled as anything here. So maybe this is all new. Yeah. And like, so that may be why we had that hard braking. So again, we had a little bit of hard braking at the last red light. This braking was just a tiny bit late. I mean, it wasn't that bad. But you can see on the map here, there's no traffic light, whereas the next one there is. So this stuff here must be new. And luckily, even with the old map data, the car is correctly navigating it, just not quite as smoothly as when it has that correct map data. All right, we are pretty much at our destination here. We're going to take this last right. Overall, it felt pretty good. We still had a little weirdness. I'm really disappointed. We still have the speed degradation on the side roads, but maybe now, you know, they brought the end-to-end from the side roads to the highway. Maybe now they can take the highway, whatever they've done there, and put that on the side roads, because the highway worked so much better in terms, again, speed control is the number one thing. In terms of all of that, it worked so much better. It felt really good. So here you go. We're 41 and a 45. We got someone coming up behind us because they're like, look how big this road is, why going so slow. But overall, a nice first drive. And another thing that I noticed is we did cut 1 or 2 minutes off of our estimated arrival time. I'm not sure I've ever done that when I've used FSD for the entire drive, because FSD is usually a little slow. So it got us here like a minute or two earlier than originally predicted. So very nice to see. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you have questions, leave those down below. You will see me and Stephanie and FSD in the next, report video. I'm glad
The car was waving goodbye.
Yeah, the car was waving goodbye. I'm glad I got that one before we cut it. All right.